Hare Krishna. So Krishna has answered 3 questions of Arjuna in the previous Shloka, Shloka number 3. Now he is going to answer the next 4 questions of Arjuna in Shloka number 4. So let's see that now. Adhibhūtaṁ kṣaro bhāvaḥ puruṣaś cādhidaivatam adhiyajño evātra dehe deha-bhṛtāṁ vara. So here Krishna is saying that deha-bhṛtāṁ vara, oh the best of embodied living beings. He is talking to Arjuna. And he says that adhibhūtaṁ kṣaro bhāvaḥ, that is the constantly changing nature, the physical nature is called as adhibhūta. And puruṣaś adhidaivatam. So here he is saying that Purusha is basically the universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods. So that is called as adhidaiva. And then he says adhiyajña aham evātra. He says that I, the Supersoul, who is there as Paramatma in everyone's heart, is called as adhiyajña, or the Lord of sacrifices. So here Krishna has answered the 4 questions. So let's see that now in detail. The first one, let's talk about adhibhūta. Adhibhūta basically which is the changing physical nature. The physical nature is constantly changing. Example, material bodies generally pass through 6 stages. What are those? First, we take birth. The material body takes birth. Then it grows. It remains for some duration, maintenance mode. And then it produces some byproducts, the offsprings basically. And then the body becomes old, it starts dwindling, and finally the 6th change that is there is death. The body completely vanquishes. So in this way we see that how the physical nature keeps changing. You take for example anything. Even if we take an apple and we keep it at one place for a long time, what will happen? We will see slowly and steadily it will start shrinking and decomposing, and finally it will be vanquished completely. So in this way, in this material world, everything is changing. Everything is temporary. So that is what is adhibhūta. This physical nature that is there, that is called as adhibhūta. And then the next one, the conception of the universal form of the Supreme Lord, which includes all the demigods and their different planets, is called adhidaiva. So some more details are given here. Now this universal form is also called as Virata Purusha. So many people know universal form as Virata Purusha. So this is basically an understanding of the Supreme Person in the form of the physical form. And this includes all the 14 planetary systems and all the devi-devatas residing in them. So like for example, here it's given that this Virata Purusha's legs are considered to be the lower planets. So like we have Patala, Sutala and all those planets which are there, the 7 planetary systems below, they are considered to be the legs. And the sun and the moon, they are considered to be the eyes of the Lord. And the head, that is compared to what? That is compared to the upper planetary systems till Brahmaloka. So in this way, the entire body of Virata Purusha is basically the 14 planetary systems and the demigods residing in them. So this is called as adhidaiva. And so it is given here, who should meditate on this adhidaiva or this universal form? The gigantic universal form of the Lord is contemplated by the neophyte who cannot approach the Supreme Lord in his manifestation as Supersoul. So the ones who cannot approach the Lord as Paramatma or the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, so what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to imagine this entire universal form that is there in the form of the 14 planetary systems and all the devi-devatas residing in them. So this is adhidaiva. So we understood what is adhibhūta and adhidaiva. So let's understand the next one. Present in the body along with the individual soul is the Supersoul, a plenary representation of Lord Krishna. The Supersoul is called the Paramatma or adhiyajña and is situated in the heart. The word eva is particularly important in the context of this verse because by this word the Lord stresses that the Paramatma is not different from him. The Supersoul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, seated beside the individual soul, is the witness of the individual soul's activities and is the source of the soul's various types of consciousness. So a very nice analogy is given in Kathopanishad. So this body is compared to a tree, and there are two birds sitting on this tree, on one of the branches. One bird is eating the fruit and another bird is watching the bird who is eating the fruit. So these two birds are basically the soul and supersoul. So soul, the living entity, is eating the fruit, that is doing various activities, karma, and the supersoul is observing. So supersoul does two things. Paramatma, he does two activities, important activities. He is upadrishta, he keeps observing what's going on. And the second thing that he does is anumanta, he sanctions the desires of the living entities depending on the past karma of that living entity. So this is basically the Paramatma feature. Obviously there are many other aspects to this particular form of Paramatma. We'll see that in the future chapters. But these are the two important things. So this adhiyajña, or the Lord of Sacrifices, is there in each and every living entity's heart as Paramatma. So this is the point that needs to be understood, and this is the answer to the question, that two questions basically, that who is adhiyajña and where does he reside? And here it's very clear that adhiyajña is Paramatma and he resides in the heart of all the living entities. So that's how Krishna has answered this question. And this Paramatma feature of the Lord is very merciful form. So here it is given. The super soul gives the individual soul an opportunity to act freely and witness his activities. So what does the Paramatma feature is doing? What does Paramatma does in the heart? So Paramatma, or Lord in general, he gives free will to the living entity to decide and choose whatever they want to. So as we have told even in the previous videos, so we have birth and death, that is B and D, and in between we have C, that is choice. So that choice the living entity has, and based on the free will he can choose whatever he wants to do in the life. Obviously Paramatma will keep giving some triggers saying what to do and what not to do. But then when the living entity is fully conditioned in the material state, unfortunately he is not able to listen to the voice of Paramatma. And he just does something which actually pulls him down in his consciousness and pulls him down to the lower species of life. So this free will that Krishna has given to all of us has to be utilized very properly. If this free will is not utilized properly, then take it for sure that we will drown in this material ocean forever. So what are we supposed to choose? When we have two options, material sense gratification or time pass that we do in this world, and Krishna and devotional service, we have these two options, we have to choose. And most of the time our mind will choose sense gratification and time pass of this world. But as devotees, we have to be very much alert in every situation that what am I choosing? We have to ask this question always while making any choice. Is this particular activity taking me closer to Krishna or not? If the answer is no, we don't do that activity. If the answer is yes, we go ahead and we do it. That's how we make proper choice. If we choose sense gratification and time pass of this world, we will drown in this world forever. But then if we choose Krishna, we will actually evolve in our consciousness and finally go back home, back to Godhead, this very lifetime. So after having answered these 7 questions, now the 8th and the very important question of what is basically the destination which the person attains when he leaves the body depends on the consciousness of the person at the time of death. And now Krishna is going to talk about it very explicitly, and this particular question Krishna is going to answer in rest of the verses of chapter 8. So let's see that from next video onwards. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,